Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a fabulous weekend and you got outside and enjoyed the beautiful weather. Go ahead and hit pause and try to figure out the definition and part of speech of portend. All right. So for part of speech, you got this. We have portend and portended, which tells us this must be a verb because it's the only part of speech that changes based on tense. Now let's see if we can figure out the definition. His teacher portended that Billy would come to a poor end. So here you can see the teacher imagining that Billy is going to end up behind bars. So his teacher blanked. What's his teacher doing? The teacher's kind of imagining, but is the teacher imagining that this is what's going to happen right now or what's going to happen in the future? Think about it. Let's look at a different sentence and see if we can figure it out. The sailors were afraid that the dark sky on the horizon portended that a storm was imminent. You see dark clouds, and the sailors portended, maybe they predicted, maybe they foretold, or they foresaw, right? Kind of like foreshadowing. The sailors and the teacher see kind of into the future. They kind of know what's going to happen. So maybe they predicted. But usually with portend, we're talking about something that's not good. It's not that you foresee like dessert. It's that you foresee something bad. Like maybe you might portend that the dessert will melt. Something horrible. Gasp. Very good. All right, my friends. Today we're going to do two things. Okay, you have two assignments. We together are going to study for your quiz on Wednesday over the different types of poems. Okay? And I encourage you to study on your own as well, but we're going to do that together. And then number two, you're going to compose your sonnet today. And hopefully it's a superbly stylish sonnet. Maybe it even is a sonnet that includes alliteration. Anywho, so go ahead and number your paper 1 through 10 and see if you can get all 10 of these correct. And if you do, then I think you're in good shape. And if you miss one, well, then you know, oh, I got to study that term especially for the quiz on Wednesday. So number 1, we have a very short poem. A click, a sputter, a roar, a flick, a shudder, to soar. I think you can tell what this is. Hit pause if you need more time for any of these. Number 2. Shh, here's my secret. Soft petals hide inside me. Coming soon, a bloom. Number 3. There was a young girl on a tower who looked just as fresh as a flower. Her hair was like silk, her skin smooth as milk, but her breath made the strongest knight cower. Ha! Number 4. Oh, I bite into you and relish the burst of wild flavor I haven't tasted all winter. Your sweet juice floods my mouth, buries my tongue in fresh pinkish flesh. I swallow your cold fruitness and my taste buds smile with excitement. Oh, watermelon! The scent of June wind mixed with the heat of August sun washes over me as I take another bite of summer. Number 5. Stop all the clocks, cut off the telephone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone, silence the pianos, and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. Let aeroplanes circle moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. I'm going to stop there because I think you can tell what type of poem this is. Number 6. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Went for a ride in a flying shoe. Hooray, what fun! It's time we flew, said Ickle me, pickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle was captain and Pickle was crew, and Tickle served coffee and mulligan stew, as higher and higher and higher they flew. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Over the sun and beyond the blue. Hold on, stay in, I hope we do, cried Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, never returned to the world they knew, and nobody knows what's happened to dear Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. All right, see if you can figure that one out. Number 7. Come slowly, Eden, lips unused to thee. Bashful, sip thy jasmines, as the fainting bee, reaching late his flower. round her chamber hums, count his nectars, alights, and is lost in balms. Number 8. As his last words, a bird flew past on the right, a hawk, Apollo's wind-swift herald, tight in his claws, a struggling dove, and he ripped its feathers out, and they drifted down to the earth between the ship and the young prince himself. The prophet called him aside, clear of his men, and grasped his hand, exclaiming, Look, Telemachus, the will of God that just winged that bird on your right. I think you can tell what type of poem that is. Number 9. As an unperfect actor on the stage, who with his fear is put besides his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength's abundance weakens his own heart, so I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite, and in mine own love's strength seem to decay, or charged with burden of mine own love's might. Oh, let my books be then the eloquence and dumb presagers of my speaking breast, who plead for love and look for recompense, more than that tongue that more hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ, to hear with eyes belongs to love's fine wit. And last but not least, number 10, Raindrops. Raindrops drip drop on my shoes, and more drops fall in ones and twos. I think of all my friends inside. Not me, I think, I shall not hide. Stormy weather makes me run to puddles outside. So much fun. On rainy days I'll always be running around for all to see. Mud and splashes cover me. So let's start with number 10. If you look across, up and down, you see the word raindrops. Rainstorm. Yikes, can't read. Yikes. Rainstorm. So that makes that an acrostic. This poem is how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14. And it has a rhyme scheme A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G, which makes this a sonnet. This poem is a long poem. It tells a story and it mentions gods and heroes, and therefore it must be an epic. Number 7. This poem has no rules. It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't have to have a certain number of syllables, and therefore this would be free verse. This poem tells a story, the story of Ickle Me and Pickle Me and Tickle Me. And therefore it is a ballad. Kind of a silly ballad. This poem is all about bringing out a coffin and letting the mourners come, and therefore it is a poem that mourns after someone who has passed away. So that makes it an elegy. Number 4, this is a love poem written to an object, right? It's a worship poem. If you're worshiping an object, that's an ode, my dude. Number 3, 5 lines, long, long, short, short, long, rhyme scheme A, B, B, A. That makes this a limerick. 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5. 3-line poem, that's a haiku. And this poem kind of looks like an airplane, and it's about planes. So therefore, it is a concrete poem, because it is a concrete image. So very good. So hopefully that went well for you. And if not, you know which of those 10 you need to study. Your quiz will be exactly like the last one. It's going to look exactly like this. You're going to have poems, and you're going to have to click on what type of poem it is. All right, so go ahead and make sure you study those. So on Friday, I asked you guys to write a little bit about your favorite season, right? Your favorite time of year. Some of your favorite things that you do during that time of year, etc. So what I want you to do today is I want you to compose a sonnet expressing your love for that season. What are some of the things that you do? What are some of the things that make that season the best time of year? Okay? Now, some of you have already done this. So if you're already done with this, just study for your quiz on Wednesday. And to be honest, if you want, you can go ahead and just work on the sonnet right now. Okay? Just remember, sonnets are 14 lines, and they have that rhyme scheme A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Okay? So feel free to just do that. Now, I have a screen here. I've kind of broken the sonnet down into chunks. I think this will help you to write a really good sonnet. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go through and show you how I would do it. Okay, so I broke it up into groupings of 4 lines and then those last 2 that rhyme. Okay, and And I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So I am writing about autumn, right? Because that's my favorite time of year. And so the first question I have is, how can you tell that your season has arrived? And I would say, I can tell that autumn has arrived when I smell, pumpkin spice lattes. So I'm going to say something like this. When pumpkin spice lattes waft abroad. I don't know if I want to say in the air. Maybe I'll say in the air. But I don't know. That seems like a weak one. We'll put it there for now. In the air. When pumpkin spice lattes waft in the air and jack-o'-lanterns flicker and dance. Trick-or-treaters prance and see, now I've got to have the end of this line rhyme with air. So I'm thinking trick-or-treaters prance without a care. And then my last line is going to want to rhyme with dance. Okay. Trick-or-treaters prance without a care. I need something that rhymes with dance. Okay, now I'm kind of struggling because I can't really think of a word that rhymes with dance. Prance, which I already used. Pants. Let's see. So I have this posted, this link on Google Classroom, but it's called Rhyme Zone. And it's really helpful when you're writing a poem, like a sonnet that has a lot of rules, right? Sometimes with poems that have a lot of rules, unlike free verse, they can be hard because they have to rhyme. So I'm going to type in the word dance, and okay, it lists all these words that rhyme with dance, like lance and chance, and a trance, okay, and glance. Okay. When pumpkin spice lattes waft in the air and jack-o'-lanterns flicker and dance, trick-or-treaters prance without a care. Let's see. Okay, how about this? You know that autumn has got me in a trance. Now, I'm not totally in love with that line, so I'm gonna bold it. I'm gonna come back. I want to reword that, but I think you guys kind of get the drift. So again, I think this will be an easier way for you. So what I would do is maybe just hit pause on the screen on YouTube, and then you can see these different prompts I have to help you break up the poem. Now, you don't have to do that. You could do whatever you want. You could write a sonnet any way you want. What's your favorite activity to do during the season? I love tailgating. I love going to the pumpkin patch, so I might write a little bit about that. I think my season smells like burning leaves, and it tastes like pumpkin muffins, and maybe it feels like crunching leaves underfoot. So that's what I'm going to write about in those 4 lines, and so on and so forth. Now, again, you'll write your sonnet over here with poems 7 and 8. So you've already written your elegy, right? So today's poem is a sonnet. So what I would do if I were you is maybe you hit pause on this screen, and then you could just drag this one over here, and maybe you're writing while you see it over here. But that's just my thought. You could just click back and forth, obviously, as well. When you're all done with that poem, hit turn in, and have a fabulous Monday. I love you guys.